weird. Tim has looked like that since he was 17, and it's the thing about Tim, and again, we've known each other forever, and Tim could grow facial hair in a time when none of us could, and it made him intimidating, and it made him manly, and it made any of our efforts to get a girl that he was interested in futile. It's quite funny, but when Tim got the role in Gallivant to play King Richard, Tim was in Psych. Tim was in a lot of stuff. Tim was in Psych, playing a cop. People go, oh, friends of his from college, wow, Tim's in Psych, playing a cop. Cool, that's awesome. Queen Cut Tim, neat. Tim gets hired to play a British king in a period piece musical, and everybody from college goes, of course, right? Because Tim was kind of born in a period piece musical. That's kind of who he is. Richard? When we were in college, the guy had a devil goatee. I mean, he's always been that guy with the eyebrow. Well, where might I find the keg? I'd like a beer. He's been that guy forever, so. When I see Tim now, it brings me great joy, because it's like flashback Tim, only with great highlights. It's the same man, truly. How are we doing? How many of these of you Rome people, I know this is not everybody, but how many of you are experiencing your first convention in Rome? No, don't raise your hands. The ones who screamed, you have a right. I asked, you scream. How many of you are experiencing your first Rome convention? All right, how many of you, to you I say, molto bene. How many of you are experiencing your first supernatural convention, period? Anybody? No, you made that up. Really? Do that again. How many first-time convention goers? How many? That's impressive. You're also way in the back. I don't know why you guys all decided. Oh, there's one. You sent a representative to the front. But, well, welcome to the Italian Supernatural Convention. Happy to have you here. I hope you can follow us, because we don't speak your language. Unlike you, we are Americans, which makes us monolinguistic. We take great pride in not knowing anything about any other nation, and not learning their mother tongue when we visit their homeland. It's part of our charm. So we hope we don't speak our English too quickly for you to follow along. I know that Rob Benedict likes to give me a hard time about speaking in colloquialisms. I'll try not to do that. I'll try to use a mic that works. There. Did I fix it? It's like fixing an old TV. You kick it and it works. Anyway, glad you're here. Fabulous. Let's do some questions, shall we? You.
Hello, Richard.
Hello.
There is a restaurant in Prague called Richard's Kitchen.
Is it yours?
I promise you it's not mine.
I have a photo here as well. I was wondering, what's your favorite meal to cook?
Oh, Lord. Well, let's open this conversation honestly, because I believe honesty is important in people who don't know each other. I don't cook well, and because of that, I don't cook often. Now, I don't know if that's the reason why I don't cook well. Maybe if I cooked more, I would be a good cook, but I don't cook a lot, so I'm not good. However, in my youth, I made a screamin' bologna and cream cheese wrap. The recipe, sure. What you do, you take a tortilla and you put it on a flat surface. Back of a guitar, hood of a car, whatever you got. You take cream cheese, you get a knife. If you don't have a knife, something flat, screwdriver or whatever. You take it out, you put cream cheese on half the tortilla, and that's the key. Half the tortilla, a nice thin layer. Then you take the bologna, which is here probably a delicacy made by real people who know what they're doing. In America, it's an unholy gathering of chemicals stuffed into plastic in cylinder form, sliced thinly, with a red sort of plastic wrap around it. remove the red plastic wrap. Trust me, I've made this mistake. If you don't take it out before it goes in this hole, it'll find its way out another one. You want to get rid of the red plastic wrap. You take the bologna slices, you lay them on the cream cheese. Now, I overlap, but that's how I roll. You gotta trust your instincts on this. Maybe you want to cut out a curve, toss into the pooch, so they kind of fit like sort of planets, aligning. Otherwise, stack them up. It depends on how hungry you are and how quickly you want to die, because bologna's gonna kill you. So you lay them up. You roll, starting with the bologna and cream cheese side first, because otherwise, it's a real mess on the hands. If you do it the other way and you go, empty, cream cheese bologna, then you have cream cheese bologna kind of squeezed out the side, and it's aesthetically not nice, especially on a date. That's not how you want to impress the ladies and or fellas that you brought over to your swinging bachelor pad and are wooing them with your bologna and cream cheese wrap. That's what you do. If you want to be fancy and serve it up, you put a toothpick in it to hold it down. Otherwise, you just roll with that and go right down the gullet. So that's one of my tricks. You're welcome. The next one. Mark Shepard likes to fancy himself a great griller. Do you know that about Mark? Yeah, Mark, this is going to sound weird, but he loves to handle meat. He loves to steam meat. He loves meat in all its forms. He loves to gobble down meat. That's Mark. Truly, he grills and smokes meat. Grow up. Cooks all kinds of things. And I used to fancy myself a good steak cooker. So I like to grill and like to do that kind of thing. But that to me is not as challenging as, say, wooing a woman with a bologna and cream cheese wrap. So I guess if you're going to take anything away from this, it's the bologna and cream cheese wrap. I'm going to go with that's my signature dish. So bologna and cream cheese wrap, we'll call it cheese and bacon.
Okay.
After me.
So basically, it's better to go to Chuck's bar for a cocktail.
It's probably better to go anywhere than my house for real if I'm cooking.
Okay.
And you know who's the Mr. Mom of the house is Rob Benedict. He cooks all the time. Aww. It's my favorite thing about talking about Rob Benedict. Doesn't matter if I said, and Rob Benedict shot a guy in the face. Aww. There's something about cute little pocket-sized Rob. So cute. I can't believe you shot a guy in the face. You think you're so big, you're so cute. And he's not that much smaller than me. But for whatever reason, like the cute quotient, like I'm in like the not cute height. And then you go down a little bit like, Rich is not so Rich is not. You're like, oh, Rich. Go to Rich. Rich is a big guy up there, the microphone. I think he's a, oh, that's Rich. There's also something I've noticed after years of doing conventions. I started doing supernatural conventions 3 years before the show started filming. So I know a lot about the supernatural universe. And one thing I figured out in the convention world is how many of you are familiar with an actor? He's not here this weekend, but his name is Sebastian Roche. Anybody? No one? Okay. He played Balthazar. He's a polyglot. You know what that means? I don't. What does it mean? Anyway, he did a lot of conventions with us, still does sometimes, but he for a while there, he's an OG. We call him an original gangster. He's part of that original group of guys with whom we did a lot of conventions. And he elicited a different response than Rob Benedict from his conventions. If you've never seen, okay, how many people here have not seen Sebastian Roche do a panel? Okay, I can't do it for you, but I will just tell you that at some point, you would impregnate that chair. That's not a euphemism for anything, that's not I'm being very literal. Shit would go down on this stage, it'd be disturbing to everybody, and yet hilarious. Because that's how he rolls, he can't stop himself. Those fans would be in danger. Andrea walks really quickly up the stage if she hands him a mic. He's a loose cannon. That's part of his charm. He's polyglottish charm. But he elicits the same response from a crowd that Rob Benedict does. which is Rob comes out and does whatever Rob does, and goes, "Hey, I'm having a hard time, guys." Oh. Sebastian comes out like, "Hello, what are we doing now?" You go, "Oh." Same word, same syllable, same spelling. Two very different responses. Ah. Oh. 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 If they did a panel together, the whole panel would be like, "Oh, ah, ah, oh, ah, And then when Sebastian inevitably started humping Rob, he'd be like, "Ah, ah, 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 oh, ah, How did we start talking about Sebastian? I was talking about bologna and cream cheese. What did you do to me, woman? This is a family show. Listen, you give me a little infatuation with Sebastian O'Shea to yourself, all right? That's between you and your laptop. Jeez Louise. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
And now you know the recipe for the cream cheese and dick. You.
Hello.
Hello.
I was wondering about Band of Brothers. How was it working with all the cool guys? And when you meet on other jobs, do you like seeing them again after?
Yeah, the Band of Brothers. Are you guys familiar with? Most of you are familiar with what that project is? World War II miniseries from HBO many years ago. Absolutely the highlight of my career. And I know I'm at a supernatural convention. But honesty is important when you don't know people. We don't know each other, so I think it's important that we're honest. Lie to loved ones, but not to strangers. I loved being a part of that project so much, and for several reasons. A, the material, playing a real guy, playing real people, trying to reenact something that really happened, that mattered significantly in world history, being a part of that, and the education it brought me. The education it forced me to have, the reading I did because of it, the talking and meeting and connecting with veterans of that war, and the family of the guy I played. So many elements were great. Another element that was fantastic was the gentlemen with whom I got to work as actors, because it was truly an amazing group of guys, many of whom now have gone on to become famous movie stars, especially the British guys. But just before, when everybody was an unknown, struggling person, it was the most fun job in the world because these guys cared so much about the roles. Everybody took their roles so seriously, whether there was a small role or a big role, whether their veteran was alive and in communication with them or passed away during the war. Everybody took their job so seriously, and that was a really cool thing to be around.
I can see it in this. I can see it when you're acting. It's really how you came together as actors with your persons. You really connected.
I think the boot camp helped a lot with that too.
Yeah.
You know, we did the 12-day boot camp, and there was a long time when we didn't know each other's real names because we all learned each other's names by character and by rank. And you know, you do that for 12 very long, intense days. That's the name that sticks with you. So when I see, you know, Michael Cudlitz, who's on Walking Dead now, I still call him Bull, which is his character name. Everybody still calls him, he still calls himself Bull. That's what happens. And it's awesome to see those guys do well. And not even just as actors, but as people. You know, most of us have gone on to get married and have kids, and that's the fun part. Work is work. You know, an acting career, various people have various levels of acting careers. That doesn't mean their talent's any different, it means their path is different. But what's great about it is the caliber of people that were involved in that are really good guys. And when you see them, whether they be still in the business, out of the business, or superstars in the business, everybody is the same. When I see, you know, I mentioned that that show turned out, it's an amazing pool of talent from the British world that now became stars. You had Damian Lewis, who was the star of the thing. But even guys in small roles.
Tom Hardy.
Fassbender. Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy.
Yeah.
Like, we had just a slew of people who came out of that and were huge. I haven't seen Tom Hardy since he became enormous, but I've run into Fassbender, he couldn't be nicer. You know, I see Damien all the time. He and I stayed great friends. and he's exactly the same. I mean, like, it worked because the guys were all normal, and they stayed normal. And I think everybody still values, regardless of where their career has taken them, whether out of the business or up the ladder, I think everybody still values that experience tremendously. So, glad you liked it. Thank you for the question.
Rich.
You.
Hello. My question is, what were the challenges of directing an episode of Supernatural for you? And like, was there anyone who gave you a hard time?
Directing an episode of Supernatural. Has anybody, I don't know where you guys are here. Are you guys, are you caught up? Are you currently on the, yeah? So I directed an episode this season 11. It was just my imagination. It was the Imaginary Friends episode. It was, the challenges were enormous. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been an actor my entire adult life. It's been really the only job I've been able to keep. And it sort of segued into directing. I dabbled in it when I was younger and then segued into it professionally about 5 years ago. And really wanted a shot at directing an episode of Supernatural, but also knew it was a long shot. So, not to get too boring into it, but I directed a lot of other things and went through the Warner Brothers Directors Program before I was able to get a crack at it. And even then, there was no guarantee. It was out of the good graces of Bob Singer and Jeremy Carter that I finally got an opportunity. The thing about directing, and I say all that to say, I'm not new to the business. I've been around it 20 some odd years. And yet still, I found it the most daunting thing of all time. Because even though I've worked with directors constantly, and even though I had directed commercials and I directed smaller format material, and I had shadowed 3 Supernatural directors, until you're the guy or gal making those decisions, until that all falls on your shoulders, you have no idea how hard and how much pressure that is. And so I was one of those people who had no idea how hard and how much pressure it was, even though everybody would warn me. You know, Jensen and I had a lot of great talks, Misha and I talked, aside from the fact that I talked to other directors from the show who were not actors, but they were, I thought, especially good resources because they came from the world I came from. So that was interesting to hear their challenges. And they, you know, Jensen warned me, Misha warned me, and I came into it expecting a boatload of work, and it was more work than I ever imagined. I was in complete lockdown. And the difference is when you're an actor, you might have a full day of work, but you might have the next day off, or you might not start till noon. When you're the director, every decision, everything that happens starts with you, ends with you, and it starts the day you arrive on the plane. And so you have to prep your mind off. You just every decision from costuming to props to locations to set pieces, everything. That night you got to re-prep for the next day. Your prep week is madness. Your weekends are all prep for the next day. It was just nonstop work. And now I'll tell you, one of my biggest takeaways was that crew is amazing. That crew is an amazing group of people whose professionalism is unparalleled. And I say that without being stuck up to them. It's just a fact. That crew the majority of them have been together for that whole time. That doesn't happen. The caliber of the work on that show is unbelievable in terms of how intricate the stories are, how intricate the shot styles are, the special effects, everything. They tell an enormous story every week. The director swaps out every week. Some directors will shoot more than one in an episode, but they don't shoot them back to back. So when I finished my episode at 8 o'clock at night on a Tuesday, and I felt like I'd run a marathon, I got to go home and go to sleep and sleep in. They started again at 6 in the morning with a different director. You know, to them it's just lateraling the ball to the new guy. And I was so struck by that. As an actor, I knew it intellectually, but I never really understood it emotionally until I saw how hard they worked with me, and then knowing they're going to start that process over at the crack of dawn the next morning with a new guy, with a new vision, with a new style, who might have a different way of dealing with people. They have to adjust on the fly, because technically, for that week, he's the boss. Maybe he's an asshole, maybe he's great, maybe he doesn't know what he's doing, maybe he's a genius, you don't know, until the guy shows up. And it just felt like, wow, it really speaks to their expertise that they are able to maintain the consistency of the show. Because I come in, Bob Singer, Phil Segretia, John Badham, Jensen Ackles, Misha Collins, other people come in and direct the show, but the and some shows are better than others, depending on writing and directing, or both. But the show maintains a level of excellence, and that's because of the crew. That's them. They are truly a tremendous safety net that flies very high under the tightrope, so that you don't fall far. Because they won't let, the show means too much to them to let you ruin it. But I had an amazing experience. I mean, I truly had an amazing experience. Now, your follow-up question was, did anybody screw with me? This upsets a lot of people. I get asked this question a lot. And it's emotionally tough, I think, for an audience to hear this. But I think I should be honest with you people. No one screwed with me. I know, right? Bummer. Which also makes you people kind of sick in the head. Because every audience I go to, and every time they ask me about that, and I say, no, they didn't play any jokes with me, the reaction isn't, whew, thank heavens, it's, really? I don't want people to come to your job and screw with you. I assumed that they would, because they made Misha's life a living hell on earth. They hit him with a pie, they stole his script, they, mocked him endlessly. But they didn't do that to me, and I don't know if they didn't do that because, I'm not sure why. It's definitely not because they have more respect for me than they have for Misha. That ain't it. Maybe because Misha is an actor on the show, he's tougher to fire, so they can screw with him more, and I think I'm a lot easier to fire because I have no real business being there, but for their good graces. So, I don't know. I will say, and Jared Jensen, again, also, and I hope you understand that most of us, especially me, are not nice enough to come out and talk about how great they are if they were buttholes. Truly. Because I'd only be able to say so much before I started sweating and the lie would be all over my face. Jared Jensen are so good at their job of being those characters that you don't direct them. They show up so prepared and so dialed into what that character is going to do that you offer suggestions and you have ideas and you create blocking for them and they help you make it better. They also they speak such a shorthand in terms of the crew and everybody else. And they expect the same level of professionalism out of you. So when I show up to direct an episode, I didn't get a free pass. I don't get the buddy pass. They're like, great, you're directing an episode, that's cool. But just like if I was acting with them, they wouldn't be like, it's okay that you forgot your lines. No, it wouldn't be okay. I'm there to do a job. So when I was there to direct, they were super cool and gracious about it, but they expected me not to suck. Speaking of sucking, ladies and gentlemen, tahmoh again. I want you to do me a favor. Gil, come here. Here.
Yes, Richard.
Pretty please. Right now, today, in Rome, at this moment, on this stage, sits a birthday boy. Okay. And I want Gil, the voice McKinney, to lead us all in a little ditty I call Happy Birthday. Gil, what key are we doing this in?
If you guys are singing me, I'm going to sit in the middle, especially you.
All right, on me. Me. Happy birthday to you.
No, we're gonna get everybody.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear tahmoh. Happy birthday to you.
Come You don't know this. Tahmoh is turning 21. That's his first glass of wine.
First drink.
Our first one.
Does it make you feel like dancing? Tahmoh was waxing poetic and getting nostalgic in the green room minutes ago, and he pulled up a picture of himself at 15 with
Isn't that funny?
the mullet from hell.
I have the biggest Canadian hockey hair you've ever seen.
Truly.
If I get drunk enough this weekend, I'll let you guys see the picture.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's pray for binge drinking. I think this means I'm turning over the stage to you gentlemen. Guys, this is great. Listen, do me a favor. Only ask them questions about the episodes they did together. I think the Gadriel and Henry episodes are so magic. I mean, I love your stuff by yourself, but when you two get together,
Yeah.
holy smokes, it's amazing. So let's just be sure we limit all of our questions to
It's gonna be a
scenes and episodes
short
together.
panel, Richard.
And our panel will be fun.
Just no, drag it out. Don't do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Tahmoh Pennicat and Gil McKinney. Thank you, everybody. I will see you later.
Thanks, Richard.
You want to dance?
European dance party. European birthday dance party. Best battle I've ever done.
Salute.
I heard something about boxes and is that stuff up here?
You heard stuff about what?
Did you hear? Usually they have little games or things we can do up here, but
Presents. You guys are present enough. For me, not for Tahmoh. He wants real presents. It's his
I
birthday.
like the presents.
It is his birthday.
Compliments will do. I'll take compliments all day.
What's up, guys? Good looking group here.
Have we already got people lined up for questions? Yes, we do. What do you say, Gil? We got 40 minutes. Should we get into it?
Let's get into it. First of all, though,
Yeah.
how many Jib Cons have you done?
This is my third one.
Wow.
It's been a fantastic experience every time. This is Gil's first time.
My first, probably my last.
Proper welcome.
Just kidding. I'm having a great time in Italy. Beautiful country, beautiful people. Had some good food too.
Good food, pretty good
Yes.
wine.
Some great wine. All right, let's do some questions. You're already lit up in the spotlight over here.
Hi. First, I wanted to say, Gil, welcome to the Jib family.
Thank you very
We're
much.
really happy that you're here.
I'm so happy to be here. I want to thank Daniela for inviting me, and everybody's been so great. So thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about your experience working on LA Noir, which is one of the first things I ever saw you in, and then seeing you on Supernatural was really weird.
Did you make the connection right away? Or were you like, this guy looks familiar?
Yeah, almost. But it was more of a thing where that guy's familiar. Where have I seen him?
Right.
And then I did a quick IMDb check.
Well, the characters are similar in some ways. For those of you who don't know, I did a video game called LA Noir, and I played the character named Jack Kelso. And it was a lot of fun. I've never worked so hard on anything in my entire life. Have you done video games?
Was it mocap?
We did the motion capture.
But was it a while ago?
A few years ago, yeah.
Okay, well,
Did
a
you
few
work
years
on
ago,
it?
no, but I have done a video game. But the thing is, I did mine like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Mocap was a whole lot different then. You could barely move.
No,
If you moved too quick, the computers couldn't keep up.
Of the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what we did. We did like a month and a half of wearing the suits with the balls all over them, you know, which is just ridiculous. And we did like a month and a half of that, acting out the scenes, and then just to get the body down. And then we did another month or so of sitting in the chair with 1,000 cameras around the room, just getting your face and your
Melting
voice
your
and
eyes.
everything. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I've never worked so hard on anything. I mean, the script was like 3,000 pages long, you know, and there were a lot of scenes we'd have to do, and there would be like, a few different options or decisions of which way the character could go. So it was a lot of work, but really a lot of fun. And it was fun to get to see it done and actually get to play myself. And and like run around Los Angeles in the 40s,
That's
like
killer.
as myself. It was pretty
So
cool.
that was based on the book?
You know, I don't know. It was an original story that the guy had written and created.
Okay.
It was very like LA Confidential though. You know what I mean? It was, you know, film noir. It was basically like a lot of different like murder mysteries and things that actually did happen. But it was cool.
It was awesome.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you played it. I love when people bring it up. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. So I'm happy that I'm sharing a first with each one of you. This is your first JibCon.
It is.
That's mine. It's actually also my first convention in general.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
And then, Kama, you and I share today is our birthday. So happy birthday to
It's
you.
your birthday too?
Yes, I'm 42 today. So
Happy
very-
birthday.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So, Kama, I had a question for you. Gadriel had a very interesting story arc, and it was nice that he had a bit of redemption at the end after all the mistakes he made, going all the way back to the very first major screw up.
What would you consider the first screw up?
Letting the serpent into the garden.
I
I know.
had to bring that up.
But what I wanted to ask you was, what sort of work did you do to come to the characterization of this angel that doesn't really have much lore as far as I could see? And yes, I did look up lore. What sort of research or sort of character analysis was involved in your creation of the Gadriel character?
So, number one, I went online and I just started reading about angels on Wikipedia. Oops, somebody okay there? They meant to do that. Yeah, there was a ninja tumble into a somersault roll. Ninjas in the audience, I love it. I started reading up about angels and any information there might be about Ezekiel and Gadriel. Obviously, the show is taking some liberties, and that's what it does. And you really just got to base it on the universe that they created. I almost always write a backstory and do a lot of research.
What sort of backstory then?
Well, that's the thing. My backstory is always different for every character. But for this angel, I really couldn't do a backstory. The backstory was the given circumstances, which were he let the serpent in. He was once God's most trusted angel. I thought about who he is. He's a soldier. He needs to be directed. He once trusted by God, and nothing was more important to him. And he's been tortured for the last 1,000 years for messing up, for letting the serpent in. So I wanted to play him somewhat conflicted and damaged. He wasn't quite sure which direction he was going, and that's why he was so easily swayed by Metatron. But ultimately, in his heart, he wanted the forgiveness of God, and he wanted heaven to be back the way it was, and that's what he was aiming for. And after it was already too late when he realized that he was being directed by the wrong man and doing the wrong things. And in the end, he did the best he could to make amends for that. But I think that he didn't feel that was redemption. He was doing that because at that point he felt it was the right thing to do, but I don't think that Gadriel was in any way satisfied or felt like that was it. I'm going to be okay. Everything will be forgiven after this. I think he was still conflicted to the very end.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy birthday.
Hello. Welcome to Justin Bello, to you, and welcome back to Tahmoh.
Thank you.
My question this time is for Gil. You're playing the Phantom of the Opera right now. I don't know if you've already finished.
Are you really?
Not the musical.
Okay.
Hopefully one day that would be really fun.
So can you tell us a little bit about that? And on the other hand, because you just mentioned it, will there ever be a musical you're into? Because we know you can sing very, very well.
Well, let me answer the second part of your question first. I would love to be in a musical. I would love, Broadway would be amazing. I haven't had any luck yet in that arena, but hopefully maybe one day that can happen. Getting to do these conventions, one of the best parts for me, other than meeting you guys and making all these great friends, is getting to sing for you guys and do that sort of thing. So it's been
You do it very well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. As for the Phantom, I just shot a pilot, it's a half-hour comedy pilot. Do you guys know who Chad Lindbergh is? He played Ash. Okay, so got to be friends with Chad through this whole crazy world, and he called me up several months ago and asked me if I would be in this pilot that he was producing with a childhood friend of his who wrote it and directing it. I said absolutely. He told me a little bit about it. Really cool concept. So it's a comedy. I mean, we hope it's a comedy. It's really funny. We had a lot of fun shooting it, so we hope that you guys think it's funny too. Supernatural Family was a huge part of getting it made. They did a Kickstarter thing for it, raised some money to actually get it made. So thank you, once again, to you guys for that. Basically, the gist of the pilot is it's set in modern day Hollywood Hills, a castle in the Hollywood Hills, just below the Hollywood sign. And we shot in an actual castle, had like a moat and everything. It was really
so cool.
It was really fun. And so there's 4 guys that live in this castle. The pitch for the show is Penny Dreadful meets Entourage. So if you know those 2 shows, you're like, okay. So it's 4 guys living in this castle in present day, and it's Dorian Gray, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, which is Chad, Frankenstein, and Phantom of the Opera. So it's seeing how these characters that you all know would live together in this house and try to navigate, life in today's society. And so it's much more like Entourage in that sense, these 4 close friends that have known each other for hundreds of years. And and they're like having girls over to the castle for Hyde's birthday party, and they're just hoping he doesn't kill somebody. And Phantom is in love with Christine, obviously, so I've invited Christine over, and it's definitely, like I said, a more comedic take on the Phantom, but it was a lot of fun to play, and you got to wear the mask and sing a little bit. So we just finished shooting the pilot. We've got some reshoots to do and some pickups, but we're really hopeful that it can get picked up by somebody. I mean, I think best case scenario, they want to shop into like Amazon, Netflix, that sort of thing. It's definitely not for network TV, because there's quite a bit of hijinks and fun and
Adult material.
a little bit of, it's not for children, let's just say that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll hear you really sing as a Phantom at some point in the future.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Congratulations, brother. That's awesome. That sounds fun.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun to shoot, for sure. I haven't gotten to do that much comedy. Sometimes, I don't know, I feel like casting directors, they look at my resume and they see all this hour drama stuff, and they're like, oh, he's not a comedy guy, so I didn't even get a shot at it. So it was really fun to get to kind of...
I know all about it, man. I had to do my own, I had to do a web series. I got approached by a web series. I didn't come up with the idea, but I had to do, that was the first time I was really able to do comedy. I'd done it in theater school and had a blast, but the industry has never seen me in that way, never allowed me to do it, so it's fun.
It's fun to go to work and actually laugh and and play, not take yourself so seriously, so.
Absolutely.
Hi.
Hi.
So first of all, Tam, last year you helped me with my homework.
Did I really? What did I do?
You did. You helped me with my Canada homework. It was an essay.
Excellent.
And I didn't get an A, I got an A+, so thank you for that.
Oh!
Fantastic.
So I was wondering, because I'm currently finishing high school, what are the moments you two remember most fondly of high school?
High school?
Fondly. Graduating? Leaving? No, high school was kind of, I had some fond memories. It wasn't the easiest time for me either, you know what I mean? I had some great friends. Just high school was just weird, by the time I was a senior, I was so ready to go to college and get out of my small town that I grew up in. But I guess the highlights would probably be getting to do some theater and some musicals. And look, you guys, I was in theater, choir, and I was on the swim team. So I had a target on my back, as far as I was not the coolest guy. I know you guys are probably surprised by that now, but high school was, like I said, I had some good friends, but definitely there were some hard times too. So I was happy to be done with it and move on, because things definitely did get better.
High school's like that, man. It's hard. I don't think there's not too many people who are just high school was amazing, every day was great. It's your adolescence is difficult. You're figuring things out, you're compromising as an individual. Oftentimes, at least I found I was, because you know, you're hanging out with certain people and then you don't like the way they are. I had my issues with high school. I had a lot of fun in high school, probably too much fun, and that definitely affected my grades. But like you, I had some teachers who kind of knew what I was about, and there was a new music, art, and drama program that was being started. And the most amazing thing was they built the state-of-the-art music, art, and drama center at the college. And the new program would have the students go up to the college, and that's where we went to school, even though we were high school students. So I went up there and did a semester of this program, and it was strictly music, art, and drama. Everyone had to do a little bit of everything. And it was fantastic, man. It really, it solidified the dream that I had, that I wasn't often too vocal about, because I was also from a small town. And you're considered a tall poppy. You're too big for your britches. Oh, you're gonna leave this town, and you're better than us. You're gonna go do that shit. That's how small towns are, unfortunately. And I did that program, and the teachers really encouraged me. They were like, you should go for this. You should do this. You can do this. You can't do it here in Whitehorse, Yukon, but if you leave, you can. So yeah, I think that was definitely that was a big thing for me. That was a big highlight. Thank you. Hello.
Hi. I've got a question for Trauma. I want to...
Doing great.
She's from London.
Yes.
Yes.
My question is that what was the part of Gadriel that made you say yes to this role when you got the script? What was it that made you say yes?
I actually didn't know a lot about it. I just knew that I was going to be Ezekiel. When I first got it, the audition I had, the lines were actually Castile's lines. It was some scene from another episode. I didn't know that though. And it was just I can't remember what the scene was, but I did it. I went in there and played with the director. We did a couple takes and it felt good. And then they called me back and said, yeah, you're gonna play an angel. And I was like, great. And then days before I started, they're like, okay, so this angel is probably gonna be a different angel. He's an angel pretending to be another angel, but you'll get the script, the later scripts, and you'll get more into detail. What a lot of people don't realize, oftentimes as actors, we're not privy to the longer arc of the story in any way. It's just like, show up, or here's some rewrites, and you gotta go with the flow. So I'd never played an angel before, and even though Supernatural at that point had been shooting in Vancouver, my town, for 9 years, I'd never been on it. Because I was on a series that started at the same time that went for 5 years, so I never really had the opportunity. And then finally a good role came up, and they said that it was probably going to be 3 episodes, and I was like, yeah, I'm into it. It wasn't until literally the day before that I found out that I was an angel playing another angel. And I also didn't realize that Jared had already played Ezekiel and Gadriel. I thought that I was going first, and then he was going to go after me. So I was told 5 minutes before I did my first scene, which I'd done all this preparation for, the director was like, so do you want to see what Jared's done? And I said, what do you mean? What do you mean? And he said, do you want to see what Jared's done playing Gadriel? And I mean, what do you mean Jared's already shot a scene playing Gadriel? And he's like, yeah, but we got 5 minutes, so do you want to see that? And I'm like, yeah, that's probably a good idea, maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna be, so now I'm playing the lead. I thought that he was gonna have to copy me. I was smooth sailing, man. I made all these choices. I'm like, this is great. And I had 5 minutes. So I watched what he did, and luckily he was doing some very specific things physically, and he had a cadence which was similar to the choice that I made, and he kind of based on Gadriel, so it all worked out in the end.
Did he have sideburns?
He didn't have my sideburns.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Tahmoh makes an interesting point about, we're often not privy to an arc of a character or very information really at all going into it. I did an episode of CSI once where I went and auditioned, and then I got to the fitting, to the wardrobe fitting, and the wardrobe woman pulled out leather chaps and like a leather vest, and I was like, what is this? And she's like, oh no, this is for scene 38 where you were in a chamber with a dominatrix. And I was like, oh, okay.
Nice.
This is early in my career too, and I was kind of like, I wanted the job. It was CSI. I had auditioned for the show 8 times and finally got the job. But they left that part out of the audition material, probably on purpose. So anyway, it was a very uncomfortable day on set. I will say that.
You're not about to say no early in your career. Yeah, okay, I'm game. Let's do it. Hi.
Hi. Tahmoh, I have a question for you. Since you're Canadian, do you speak French?
I speak a bit of French. The thing is, I was in French immersion when I was a kid for a number of years, and it's there, but I haven't, in all honesty, I've barely used it in 30 years. And because of it, it's so rusty. But when I watch French films, I understand so much of it. I hear words that I haven't said in so long. I've made a promise to myself, and I said this last year, but within the next 2 years, I want to get more than conversational. I'll tell you this, when I was in Paris, I used it whenever I could, and I wasn't afraid to make mistakes, whereas in the past I was. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons that, even if you've got a language back there, people are always afraid of making mistakes. And this time in Paris, I just went for it. And I think they appreciate it. I did okay. I got my point across. It's still pretty rusty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey.
I have a question for Tahmoh. Do you prefer playing literally night in Dollhouse, or gray areas like Gadriel, or total psychopath and criminal minds?
Yeah, I was batting in Criminal Minds, wasn't I?
I love it.
You know what? Honestly, I am game at this point to play anything and everything. I just really want to challenge myself, man. I played a lot of upstanding moral characters. They've been the moral compass of shows, and over long arcs. So I think I'm more recognized for that than anything else. And when I finished, those 3 series in a row where I played similar characters, I put it out there, and I was like, I want to play bad dudes. I want to play really bad guys. And those roles came, and they were fun. I'm really game for anything. I don't really prefer, it's really about the script. It's about the story, it's about the character. And if I can sink my teeth into it, and it's something that I haven't done before and challenge myself, I'm down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. I have a question for Gail.
Oh, great.
I'm a huge Once Upon a Time fan.
Cool.
And I was wondering what would Prince Eric do if he was on Supernatural?
What did Prince Eric do if he was on Supernatural?
He would die.
Wow. No one has asked me this one before. He would probably be looking for love. Looking for his one true love in some way, and he would probably have some sort of rivalry with Sam, because you can't have 2 tall, lovable, strapping guys on the same show. It would never work, right?
Only if they're brothers.
Oh wait, only if they're brothers. Right. Thank you.
Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Sorry, Gabe. We have a change of lights.
A little mood lighting.
And we need your attention.
Okay.
Okay. You have our attention. Come on, more of this.
Okay, one more time. Ready? 1, 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tahmoh. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much, you guys. I'm having this for dinner. Thank you guys, I really appreciate it. You're sweethearts. Are we done? Gil? I assume we did not exit. No? We're still going?
You got a couple minutes.
You want to go eat? You guys tired of us? I wanted to go eat my cake.
It's almost like I'm ready to party. Woo! 21st is a big one, man. Congrats.
Very excited.
It'll be a special night for you.
I really like this wine stuff.
What happened? Oh,
Now we can see all your lovely faces.
I just wanted to
A lot of beautiful women here.
And me, too.
How many guys? Like 2?
Some
How many guys? Raise your hand.
And 4 hands.
1, 2, 3. 3 guys. 4. Wow, those are good odds.
Should we take more questions?
Sure. Video. Hey.
I have a question for both of you guys. I was just wondering, since we're at a con, if you or if you're like a fan of something where you would like to go to a con.
I mean, probably Game of Thrones. I don't know. It's probably. I mean, I definitely like geek out over that show a little bit, like most people do. You know. I think it's fantastic. I did a little Comic-Con in Australia a couple years ago. You were there, and remember Jack Gleason was there.
I do.
The guy that played
the guy who had
Joffrey.
The 2 mile lineups.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there with 5, 6, maybe 7 amazing fans there to meet me, and I looked over at Joffrey, and his line is like just wrapped around the building and
He was
outside.
outside the building like a couple miles. People were melting in the heat.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, but he can't drink, right?
He can't drink?
How old is he?
I think he's of age. I don't know. I didn't go partying with him, but
Yeah, he's definitely of age. He just plays a lot younger.
how about you? Anything you any cons you want to go to? You're a big Once Upon a Time fan, right?
Well, huge.
Huge. Who's your favorite character on Once Upon a Time?
You. Definitely you. No one else.
good
No one else
answer.
matters. It was you. If they did a convention for Blade Runner,
That's a good one.
I would stand in line for days.
Yes.
Days. Maybe Star Wars. I would do that for Star Wars. I met William Shatner in Calgary about 3 weeks ago, a month ago, at a big show there, and I almost peed a little. I went out.
So did he.
Yeah, not really. He's 85, and he was eating a cookie, and I was like, Mr. Shatner, I just want to say it's real pleasure. I mean, it's just incredible to meet you. He was just eating a cookie. He was eating a cookie and just kind of staring at me like this. And I'm like, I'm from the Yukon, and blah, blah, blah. And then out of nowhere, we were having a good conversation. He's like, talking about being 85 years old on his live show and having to make a performance, but they were having those huge snowstorms in the east. And he was like in Buffalo, and he had to get to like New York or something. And he was like, yeah, but I'm a Canadian. So he goes, I rented a little all-wheel drive, and we were the only ones on the road. And I was like, yeah, Canada, yeah, we know how to drive heavens, no! I think I got a little too enthusiastic.
He's like, security? Security.
And then, yeah, our conversation didn't.
Wait, is he 85?
He's fucking 85!
Wow, he
Doesn't
doesn't
stop
look a
working.
day over 83.
He's doing that show. He's doing a one-man show, and it's incredible. I caught it on HBO one night. Has anybody seen it? Okay, he's doing a show about his life. He goes up on stage. He's got some film footage, but he basically just goes up and tells you about his whole career. Growing up as a small kid in Montreal, coming up through acting school, theater school, his start in the film business, and all the greats he's worked with, all the way to present day. It's an incredible show. It would be a task for anybody of any age, and he's 85 up there, full energy, killing it. Check it out.
And still just does cons, like, all the time. Like, almost every weekend, I think. He's just constantly going somewhere.
He really likes money.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
I bet he does all right. Thank you.
How you doing, my friend?
Timothy would like to ask you to stop writing up biographs on his face. And
I did that a few times.
Yeah.
I do that every once in a while to test the other actors. And he had a little tantrum. He yelled at me.
Yes, he did. Anyways, question for both of you, and basically all the supernatural guys who act in the series. When you have those shootings of episodes, what's the food like? What's the catering like?
Oh, I mean, amazing on Supernatural. I mean, probably some of the best I've ever had. Right?
They had good caterers. You know what? I did a series, and the lead of that series, I did it for like 5 years. And the lead of that series always said, he goes, if you have excellent caterers, your crew will be happy and the show will be amazing. And he was serious. He said it's one of the most important things. And we also were very lucky. We had incredible caterers. But I remember going on that show and loving every single meal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you eat in a tent or is it indoor?
Yeah, they set a tent up. It depends on if you're on location. If you're on location, and even on the at the studio, they just have tents set up and long tables, and the food's there. You go up to the truck, you order it. You go in the tent, or you go in your.
If you want to go in your trailer, be alone and eat in private, you can do that.
Okay.
You can eat wherever you want. Really, it's great.
Okay, what about the scenes where some guy eats a burger? Is it
You love eating, don't you? Is it dinner time yet?
I'm a chef.
What are you doing for dinner? Are you a chef? Okay, well this makes sense now.
Yeah, anyways, is the burger cold when Dean bites into it?
You know what? They're actually usually pretty good about that. I've done scenes where I'm eating Chinese food, and they're bringing me fairly hot Chinese food over and over and over again.
So in all of those scenes, the food is actually hot?
Hey, let's not push hot. It starts off hot, and then it's lukewarm after that. As a chef, you wouldn't allow it, but
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I mean, one of my scenes was in the burger joint, and Dean had a burger and fries in front of him, but I don't think he took a bite of it. Sometimes as an actor, like if you've got food in the scene, like it's smart to just not eat it and just kind of like play with it or whatever,
because you have to match it every time.
Do you guys remember did Dean bite the burger in that scene? Does anyone remember that?
He was munching.
I think he was too upset with me or something to eat or something like that. But I don't know if it was warm or not. That's a great question.
It's a good question. It's always great when you get unique questions.
Look, when I puked, it was like lukewarm mushroom soup. It was like you probably had to puke.
Oh yeah.
They give you like mushroom soup, and it's like lukewarm.
We're all right here.
And I was sitting in the Impala with the boys, and they're like, "All right, we're rolling," and I just emptied it into my mouth. I'm sitting there holding it in my mouth while we're driving up, so I can jump out and projectile.